happens when a real power performer meets a wise strategist. Who possesses the best technique in the world? Speed kills. Who is the quickest puller? Speaking of fast, who climbed to the top of the scale in the shortest period of time? Sports and passion, amazing fights, glory and drama, all in today's Real Arm Wrestling.
This is going to be an interesting matchup. Evgeny Prudnik obviously having a great year, having won the World Championships, but he's so much smaller, and against him is the Brazilian champion Wagner Bortolato. This is a huge man. His left is better than his right, but he is such a big man, and he is a world-class puller. And Evgeny Prudnik, remember, comes out of the 86-kilo category, and this is really, look at that. He just keeps him on the inside and destroys the angle that Bortolato wants hit. Bortolato elbow fouls off, and it's again, he keeps Bortolato away from his strength. An absolutely amazing win by Evgeny Prudnik. In arm wrestling, we admire not only power, but also technique. The majority of pullers will agree that the importance of technique is growing from year to year and from contest to contest. What arm wrestling was 20 years ago is not what it is today. The champions of technique have changed the picture. Hi, I'm Axclo. Stay with me and you are going to see real magic. Real magic today on Real Arm Wrestling. We all know what using the right technique is in football, basketball, or boxing. It's basically to fool your opponent. When we trick him into believing that our next move would be in a certain direction, only to do the opposite. If we pull it off, he will defend the side which we were representing, and then we will do exactly the opposite. We will go ahead, change the direction, and the game, and the attack, and that is exactly what happens in arm wrestling as well. The only difference being the pace at which everything happens. What is hardly noticeable, though, is the change of direction in attack. That is why some of the fights need a closer look. Watch carefully.
Sergey Tokarev versus Michael Todd. You can see at least 3 different technique styles used in this fight, and quick changes too. Tokarev prepares for a top roll. After ready go, he tries to change to triceps pressure, but can't pull it off in time, and lacking power, he's unable to get the job done. Todd does the same, but he's more successful. He changes his side pressure style into a triceps attack, and it results in a victory.
Representing Ukraine, it's Andrei Pushka.
Marquee fights always attract the attention of the whole arm wrestling world. Arm Fight, Vendetta, a 6-round match at the top of the heavyweight class.
19.3 inch long, his left and right-handed preferred. Representing Canada, it's Devon Larratt.
A Canadian, Devon Larratt, versus Ukrainian superpower Andrei Pushkar. Pushkar is obviously stronger, but he has a weakness. The only technique he's able to utilize at the top level is side pressure. It's not versatile, but it can be effective most of the time, but not necessarily against every opponent. The first round went to Pushkar. Side pressure combined with superior power beat Larratt's technique, a top roll. No surprise here. The second round, unexpectedly, has a different scenario. Laurent changes his style to a top roll technique.
The winner of this round is Larry.
On to the third round, and it becomes just a fun day at the office for Laurent, who's smiling, seemingly having a good time, talking to his opponent. At the same time, he's putting on a real technical show. It's as though he wanted to say to Pushkar, look, I can do anything I want with your exhausted wrist. Now it's a hook, and a hook that provides a win.
Winner of this round, Larry.
In the fourth round, another change of style, from a hook to a top roll technique. And the third win for Laurent.
Winner of this round, Larry. The earth starts to rumble.
The scenario repeats itself in the fifth round. And in the sixth round, it's no longer a fight. It's an easy score over an exhausted opponent's arm. Five to 1 for Devin Laurent.
Winner round 6, Larry.
If you are somebody in the arm wrestling community, who do you think is the best technician in the history of arm wrestling? The answer would no doubt be John Brzenk. Generations have learned from him, and many still do. Let's have a look at John Brzenk and his arm wrestling.
To do a shoulder roll or a tricep move, I like to throw my right leg on the inside of the table and get my hips as close to the table as I possibly can and set up somewhat behind my arm, because the move is going to be, instead of dropping away like this, it's going to be dropping here and keeping tight and keeping that tricep push on their bicep.
How does one compete with one of the strongest men in the world? Let's take a lesson from a good professor, the legend, John Brzenk. Alexei Semerenko is his opponent. Semerenko's plan of attack for this fight was, as you can see, triceps pressure. The fight seems to come to an end soon, as John's hand is very close to the pad. If you think so, you don't know John Brzenk. Using powerful biceps, the fight goes on. There's no describing the strength of Brzenk. The hook is clearly one of his main weapons. It takes no more than 15 seconds, and Semerenko starts to wear down, becoming weaker and weaker. The end is near as Brzenk wears down his foe. The round ends, and something happens. Yes, Samarenko, extremely exhausted, is on the brink of collapse and fainting. Taras Ivakin, a Ukrainian, was undoubtedly the best top roller in the world for many years. He was at his best when he met John Brzezinski in this particular encounter. But possessing only one technique limits an athlete's possibilities. And Brzezinski, knowing his opponent's style, could choose a proper defensive technique. He knows them all. In this fight, Brzezinski proved he can resist even the strongest top roll attack in the world and give a good response using side pressure.
John Brzezinski exploits all of his assets, the power, the experience, and the technique. He is a wizard. There are others, though, who are also brilliant at using incredible techniques, who follow in his footsteps. People like Pascal Girard, Oloev, or Tsvetan Gashevsky, who was nicknamed the Professor.
Pascal Girard from Switzerland is probably the most resistant puller in the world.
I don't have a full range of move, so I had to change my technique. I had to change the way I'm pulling. So in arm wrestling, what is very important is the angle you need, the leverage you need, and to understand what you have to do for your opponent. Somebody would say, yeah, you top rolling, so you do this and then you pull here. If you're not enough strong on the wrist to pull your opponent, you can use the technique you want. It's not possible, So the first things is to understand the angle you need and then to work out this angle to be very, very strong in this angle,
Girard's style can best be described as technique combined with incredible endurance. Girard and Yevgeny Prudnik fought the longest arm wrestling duel ever at the World Championships in 2007.
Firstly, I didn't know so much about him, I just know that he was winning the Ukrainian nationals. I didn't know exactly his style, because it's very difficult to fight against Eugenie because he can go everywhere. He's good on top roll, he's good on the hook, and he has a lot of stamina.
Перед борьбой с Паскалем я знал, что он очень хороший верховик.
Before the fight against Pascal, I knew he was a very good top roller. He used an interesting technique, the so-called can opening.
И на тот момент я тогда был еще не...
I hadn't had a properly prepared wrist against that technique at that moment, so it was easy for him to open my hand.
Раскрыть мне кисть, но зато на тот момент я был очень подготовлен
But I was
морально.
well prepared mentally. And as far as moral is concerned, I was the winner.
I wanted to press him because actually my wrist was stronger, so I could top roll him. We were on the strap, so I really wanted to, to do a press move. The problem is that he was too strong, so if I release the pressure with my fingers, he would, hook me, so I would not have any chance to beat him. So the thing was to feel when I can go up to press him. So every time I wanted to go up to press him, I felt my hand going on, so I have to get back, on the top position. So this was the game. We call it the hand control. Finally, after 8 minutes 45 seconds, I get the match. It was something incredible, It was the longest match of all the arm wrestling history in a single time. Why do I win? because I think that I get a bit more experience than him. You know, it was something like this, very small.
Но если посмотреть на судью бокового, который следил
Looking
непосредственно
at the
за
second referee, he was waiting for the
Паскаль
pin
дотягивал
all the
на
time.
последних вот этих
It was in the
минутах,
last
уже
minutes of the
самый
fight
последний,
before they
когда ему дали
admitted
пина.
the win to Pascal.
Он когда дотягивал, главный судья дал победу
The main
Паскалю.
referee gave the
Но ей
win to
было не видно,
Pascal,
в принципе,
but
там
she
была
couldn't
проекция или
see
нет.
the pin or not.
Боковой
And
судья,
the second
который
referee
следил за
kept
проекцией,
from raising his
засомневался.
hand. He saw the win
увидел, что
announced,
дали
but he
победу,
didn't
но он
want to
не
call
хотел
it.
давать, потому что
He
он
knew
видел,
there
что
was no
проекции
pin.
как таковой не было.
I could have kept on for half an hour. I could have kept on for 2 hours. Definitely, I could have kept on. I wouldn't have given up. I felt I could have resisted until I would have won. I had focused on it. So the longest fight could have been even longer.
At the championship in Gdynia in 2013, Gerard's fights were also quite long. The longest was his fight against Oleksiy Svetkov.
If you are getting a match like this on your first turn, your tournament is over. My granddaughter, that she's 3 months old, she will beat me, you know.
Svetlin Gashevsky. His nickname is the Professor. The Bulgarian earned this name, showing incredible technique in the 75-kilo class. He's dominated this category for many years, and now at an advanced age, he competes in the seniors, not in masters competition. What is striking, this athlete visits a gym very rarely. Sparring fights are his preferred way to prepare for the big tournaments.
Technique is not trickery and masking your intentions only. Technique is also speed. Many fighters owe their success to speed. Look at Andrei Pushkar. He has huge strength at his disposal. But we've seen him in the past that his strength will only last a few seconds. That's why he usually finishes his fights in a few seconds after the ready go. Fans can be disappointed. When Pushkar approaches the table, honestly, whatever emotions are stirred up, they won't last for long. Pushkar is a quick puller, but what still remains his strongest point is the incredible strength. That's why I wouldn't rate him the fastest puller in the world. The Usain Bolt of arm wrestling has to be somebody else. But who? Maybe Ion Onchesko, maybe Murat Karyayev, maybe Andrew Cobra Rhodes. Watching fights only, you get the impression that the arm wrestler's main effort concerns fighting and fighting only. Pullers themselves know very well that victories at international tournaments require years of well and wisely planned training. Success at the table is their reward for hard work at the gym. The thing is, though, that fate does not deal the same cards to everyone. Some work very hard with mediocre effect. Others have that something that make them, right from the start, soar right up there. These are the arm wrestlers who made their way from debut to the top in record time.
Alexei Voivoda's first success on the international stage was a silver medal at the European Championships. It was astonishing. He had started arm wrestling training only 4 months before. At the World Championships in 2000, he grabbed the title, becoming a world champion after only 9 months of training. Such a quick and successful debut is an extremely rare occurrence. Soon, Vojvoda started his professional career. It was at Zloty Tour Cup 2 in Warsaw in 2001.
It's about time to watch one of these genetically favored in action. We are going to the Vendetta tournament in Bulgaria, where Vojvoda faced Michael Todd. Stay on the lookout for our next show and another hour of passion with the best superstars of arm wrestling in the world. Watch Real Arm Wrestling.